Talking Music with Big Andy. Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking Music with Big Andy, and I have with me two members of the band Ugly Club. Hi guys.
Hi,
Hey.
thanks for having us on. Hello.
How you doing?
We're good, yeah. It's been a crazy. I was gonna say a crazy few weeks, but then I was gonna think, oh no, crazy few months, and then I'm like, no, it's been a crazy few years.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
A point where it's
So-
accepting that it's just this level of craziness.
This is just life.
You've been very busy at the moment because you're actually building yourself a new studio, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we are.
yeah, and we decided to make it bigger than the last one, which,
Yeah.
in hindsight,
It's gonna be great when it's done, but it's taken a long time.
yeah,
Yeah.
we got the last
These,
build, and this is like twice the size, so
Yeah.
that's fun.
these things take too long sometimes.
They do.
So, right. People will possibly know you because of the fact that I personally interviewed you I think it's about 3 years ago, something like that.
Mhm.
In your previous band, Nova Story, and you are now Ugly Club.
Yeah.
When did that actually start? When did you actually become Ugly Club?
I feel like the official kind of release of Ugly Club from its cage was May 2023, so about a year and a half ago. But in terms of when we became Ugly Club, I think we've always had it bubbling under the surface.
Mm,
Ugly Club feels like the most us, authentic version of any project that we've ever been involved with. Ugly Club was the the project where we're like, right, we're making music that we enjoy, music that we care about for us, and if other people like it, then hop on board. I feel like um this is the first time where we're doing this for us, and if other people get it, then great.
yeah,
And if
we
they
decided
don't,
to take the gloves off, didn't we?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you seem to have done pretty well. Picked up a decent following, and you've been featured on a few different radio shows and things like that, and you've been gigging around. So I think you're doing quite well building it up as it
Mm.
goes. Um, just in as a brief thing, um, there are some differences between what you were doing with Nova Story and what you're doing now with Ugly Club. Ugly Club. Um, what was the real driving force for making those changes?
I think part of it was, I think when we obviously so in when we were in Overstory for we did that for almost 8 years, and in that time we're going from teenagers to like young adults, and we were taking we were at uni when we formed. We took advice from our uni tutors, and then we finished uni and got the studio, and we took advice from different industry professionals, and then we kept taking advice and advice and advice and advice. Manager here, like consultant there, and you get all of this information, and we tried a bit of everything, so we became like a jack of all trades, trying this person says we should do this genre, so we'll do that. Or this person says we have to be like this, so we'll be like that. And I feel like when
It's like if you're building a house and you have like 10 architects
Yeah,
working on the
it's
same
like,
drawings, it
even
just ends
though
up like
it was,
properly messy.
yeah, it's like even though it was us and it was still music that we cared about, the direction just kept constantly changing and we never stuck to anything because the
Yeah.
second we came up with a plan, some other management or something would say, oh, you should try doing this or whatever. And we just kept chopping and changing. And I think Ugly Club was the moment where we went, no, we're going to do what we want. We're going to create music that we really, really care about. And we are going to do it for us. And we're going to come up with a plan and stick to it. And that's what we've done. And then lo and behold, we've had the BBC Radio 1 play. We got asked to get up and do get up at Download Festival. We've hung the DJs. Like we've had, Maurice and the Moss asked us to go on the tour with them. All these opportunities that we've wanted for years. Why Not Festival, Truck Festival, Great Escape, all, suddenly we're Ugly Club, and the opportunities that we were banging our heads against a brick wall 4 years ago have just happened now.
I think we wanted fun as well because
Yeah.
I think there's a point that you get to, or there's a point that you can get to in a band where you have like, so with Nova Story we had this really amazing kind of core group of followers, and it got to the point where I think we were writing stuff off, particularly for me, like because I did a lot of the production and the recording on a lot of those tracks. I was kind of producing them, thinking, what will this core group think?
Yeah.
And it's nice to think that because you want to give back to the audience, you want to do that. But really, as an artist, I think you've kind of got to be selfish and you've got to go, you know what, create this for me and no one else. And that's kind of what we've done with Ugly Club. We've kind of taken this more selfish approach. And I mean, even within the band, I still do. I've on the mixtape we've released, Wendy's Waiting Room, I've done all the mixing and production, the mastering on that. And I've been completely selfish with it. I've gone, no, I'm overriding everyone else's opinion because I think that sounds better like this. And on one hand, it can be too much, but I think if you find the line, which I feel like we have, then it can be a lot more fun as well because then you're getting more out of it, you're getting more inspired. Because you're more inspired, you're putting that inspiration back into the tracks, and then the audience like it more. I think the audience connect on it more as well because they can feel the realness of it.
Yeah.
We're writing from a place of pain sometimes now, and like these feelings and everything that we've been through over the past 12 months, is all coming out, and I think people can see it more.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, I think sometimes there is a tendency with some bands, if they I hate to say pander to their fan base, but if they do that, they become a little bit stagnant, and it kind of gets a bit so that the band aren't enjoying it, which means nobody else is enjoying it, which defeats the object. One thing I did notice is that although the music and the whole style of it hasn't changed to a huge extent, your vocals have changed a bit. The way you sing has changed. Do you feel happier or freer singing the way you do now?
Yeah, I feel again it's one of those things where so for years I went to uni and I was told, oh, your northern accent's not palatable, you can't make money from having an accent like that. And then you see all these different videos and stuff on YouTube, and you speak to different professionals, and they'd all be basically asking me to tone it down. Me going, no, like, and basically I found it funny as well. I'd be watching videos of myself at gigs and I'd be singing in this quite session vocalist, quite almost Southern American accent at times. Sometimes American, sometimes it's London. Like my accent from Nova Story, song to song, verse to chorus, changes from American to English it's just insane. Obviously I analyze it more than anyone else ever would, but I'd see this coming out at gigs and then the song would end and I'd be like, right, I hope you all like that one, and be so northern. And I'm like, to me, watching it back, even though again I absolutely love so much of what we did before, it does now. I just feel so much more me and genuine and authentic, and I think that's like we got quite a lot of comments when we became Ugly Club, about like, oh, you sound well northern now, and I'm like, have you heard me talk? Like, have you heard me?
Yeah, I,
Like,
I find
Aren't we?
I'm from the north. Like,
Yeah.
that's how my voice sounds like.
I find it really odd that people are still giving that sort of advice after you get bands like Oasis
Yeah,
and things like that who don't sing it in American accents. Like, you know, and you to then turn around and say, "Oh, you won't sell any records if you sing with your normal accent." It just makes no sense.
yeah,
I think generally so like when you go to uni and you study music at uni or even at college, generally the way that they like to work is to make you a session musician. So it's not necessarily about you being the best original artist because they know 1% of those
Yeah,
of everyone
They know
they teach will
money
end up getting somewhere.
is in covers.
So it's in because the money's in covers, they try and make you the best well-rounded musician, which for a lot of people is great. You know, you can do weddings and you can do stuff on cruise ships, and it's amazing life. Like there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that side of the industry, and
Yeah.
you know, really hard-working bands doing that. But for us, we were just like, no, we're original artists. We're from the north. Like we need to again, like almost stop pretending to be something that we're not.
Yeah,
Like we've grown up with working class families. Like there's no point hiding any of this. Like
Yeah.
be proud of it because
Yeah.
it's what makes us who we are.
absolutely. And it's really quite nice to hear. For me, it's quite nice and quite refreshing to hear somebody singing these sort of songs without trying to sound like they're American.
Yeah,
You know, it's nice to hear that kind of that Britishness, if you like, about it. It's nice.
it's one of those. It's like we say, like the sort. It's never that we wrote stuff that we weren't happy with because there's not been a single release that I wasn't so proud of and pushing with my whole heart. But and you'll realize how much I mean that when you see what we're thinking about doing in the future with Ugly Club in terms of potentially revisiting old songs, revamping them, making them heavier, and doing them but as authentically as possible.
Because I think there are some decisions that we made on, and again, like I'm talking from a very personal level there, like there's some decisions that I made during the recording and mixing process of some of the songs that I feel like I did it because I saw this famous producer on YouTube. That's how they did it. So that's how I need to do it in order to validate it in my own music making. And I feel like now we're at the point where it's like I kind of don't care how it's done. I don't care what plugins I use. I don't care what equipment I use. If it sounds good, then it sounds good. If I'm enjoying the process, then it will sound good at the end of it. So I think there's some stuff that I think we're feeling re-inspired by a couple of the old tracks, aren't we? And we're going, oh, actually, with this new mindset, they could be, even bigger.
I think to me, if you're making your own music, then you need to be happy about what you're doing. And if you weren't completely happy with the way you were doing things or what you were doing, then you need to do it differently, which is what you've done. So as Ugly Club, you've got 3 videos up on YouTube.
An acquaintance. The taste of who I am is testing people's patience. I'm interacting with these people, but I wrecked it. Diagnosed but suspected. 6 shots deep, you're rolling up a 5 A little bag of fun to make us feel alive. But DNA, anxiety, you just get the worst of it. If you're gonna kill me, do it properly. It's hypocritical to say I'm into vitamins. I'm only taking them to counteract the medicine. Cheeky little rendezvous, right back on the phone where you're someone call my mom. I lost the focus of control. The tension is so palpable. I'm idle but unstoppable. I forgot my cue. If you're gonna kill me, do it properly.
all of which are fantastic. I love all of them,
Thank you.
to be honest. You got Eyes Wide Blind,
Yeah.
which is the most recent one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then What's Wrong and Kill Me. I really love the videos for those, and I just wondered what sort of where you got the ideas for the videos for those.
I think the first one was Kill Me, and that was kind of a comeback song. That was a kind of us going, look, you can't hold us back. We wanted something very much to establish, look, we're Ugly Club. We all love the pink and black and the checkers, and that's the kind of stuff that we like. So we wanted a video that visually captured all of the kind of new branding, but we wanted something that had the kind of hard hitting punchiness element of being like, no, you can't keep me down. And we thought,
Yeah.
what a way to sum that up than boxing.
Yeah.
So we got boxing rink, and then we found the girls that did that, and they were
They
absolutely
were
awesome.
ace. Yeah. There was a point where we started filming and they were like, do you want us to just properly just like
Yeah.
spar? And we were like, yeah, all right. And then one of them just went whack. And I was like, oh my God, this is kicking off.
Yeah.
They're like proper going for it.
Yeah. And yeah, they've been on about, yeah, we'll come and do it actually at a gig, like
Oh, cool.
like imagine just boxing behind whilst
We'd have
the
to tell
band's
security.
playing.
Can you imagine them?
I know. But yeah, it's like yeah, so that's where the inspiration came for that one. And then do you want me to do all of them, or is it just that first one?
Well, no, I mean, I mean, that one, the Eyes Wide Blind one is an interesting one because that's kind of got a more of a story narrative to it. It kind of, and I just wondered what that was, what was behind that, both the song and the video.
Oh, do you want to take
Yeah,
the reins? 'Cause that
so,
was your
Um,
baby.
yeah, I've struggled with kind of gender identity and expression and all that kind of stuff for a long time. It's been something that Imogen's helped me out with for a long time. And to be honest, I'm not really, I'm none the wiser.
Yeah.
But I think I'm at a point now where I'm just like, you know what, it kind of doesn't matter. I don't need to assign myself a label. I don't need to find a box that fits me. And if you know, like there are some people who do, like as soon as they find a box that fits, they're like, oh, actually, no, there's not something wrong with me. I'm one of these people, and that's fine. Like they find
Yeah.
comfort in that. But for me, it's just like I enjoy wearing different clothes. I enjoy acting differently. I enjoy these different aspects of life, and it was about trying to take that concept of something really complicated like that, and all these different feelings. And for the song, I wrote them all down in a note, didn't I?
Yeah.
And then because I'm a rubbish lyricist, so I just kind of like splurged it all out onto this like note where Imogen went through and turned it into lyrics, and then she put the melodies to it as well, and it, you know, we're all blown away with it. And then when it came to the music video time, I was like, every time I listened to the track, I was like, it sounds like it needs to be in like a lab, you know, like a lab experiment kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then it got me thinking, I was like, you know, when you see like stuff like superhero films like Avengers or whatever, you know, they always get I'm trying to think of what, like the Hulk, right? So the Hulk has like a load of radioactive stuff put in, doesn't it? And then Hulk. I'm like, it was interesting to me that they're always the same gender. Everything else about them changes. So he goes green, he becomes 20 foot tall or whatever, and like his whole personality changes, but he's still a male.
Yeah.
Like it's like for some reason there's this thing in Hollywood where we can do anything, oh, apart from swap gender. You can't do that, but you can do anything else. And I was like, I wanted to do a video where we took that kind of superhero-esque vibe and then changed the gender as well as everything else. Just to see how, you know, just have fun with it more than anything. And it was a really fun music video shoot.
I think as well, I think in terms of like when like the politics of it all, I think because of the growth of things like TikTok and just how much people are exposed to different types of people now. It's like the more people know about other people's existence, the more there feels like there's this divide.
Yeah.
And it was also a way of us kind of capturing that thing of like people are treating kind of trans people like they need to be locked away in a lab and experimented on, and actually some people it literally is just not that deep.
No, well, yeah, it's
Faces, see my clothes, see my 12 gauge, ignore my soul. Say they hate me, I know they're scared. I'm just a person, it's what I wear. Grip the edge, roll the dice. What do you want from me, sugar or spice? I'm a boy, I'm a girl. Light the match and burn the hell. In floors and find our power to replace the spill with what do you care what's in my jeans? You spend your days inflicting pain, but when we're dust, we're all the same. In flaws, we find our power to replace that spill with
it's an interesting time at the moment because the more exposure there is on for different genders, types, and different lifestyles, the more there seems to be people trying to cut it back, and I don't understand why that is.
As they don't understand it, so they're scared of it.
Someone said to me, like playing a video game, they were like, if you're playing a video game and you keep on coming across like more baddies and more resistance, you know you're going in the right direction.
Yeah, no, I get that. Okay, so you got like put those 3 tracks out, and you've done those videos, and now you've put out basically an album's worth of material on Spotify called Wendy's
Waiting Room. Yeah,
Wendy's Waiting Room. It went out of my head for a moment. I don't know why. Interestingly, I like about that, and I don't know why I like it so much. It's something I've always quite liked, just the fact that you've got a title for the collection as a whole that isn't a title of one of the tracks.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I didn't think about it, but yeah, it's because all the songs are different experiences that I feel like I've had in the waiting room that I've created. So it's Wendy is a character that I created to represent all the different negative experiences I've had with therapists and dietitians over the years. And the worst experience I had was with a dietitian. Her name was Wendy. Just out in Wendy. Her name was Wendy. She's one where I told her that I was really struggling with, I was in there, I'd been on this waiting list for years, finally got sent to Wendy for my binge eating, and I explained to her that I'd go on these mad binges where I'd have a family size lasagna and 6 pot noodles and an entire loaf of bread in one sitting, and I was really struggling, and I feel like I'm a shark on a feeding frenzy when I start eating, and I can't stop. Like, what do I do? And she goes, next time you feel yourself having a binge, just have a banana. And I sat in that chair and I was looking at her and I'm thinking, I've been on the waiting list for years. I've finally got a meeting with you. I've just told you that I physically cannot stop eating when I start. And you told me that next time I want to like scran an entire like 12 pack of knickknacks, I need to just have a banana instead. I was like, what? So basically, gone on
That's,
there with hatred for Wendy. But I thought,
that's
right,
incredible.
the songs in there about anger, the songs in there about hating work, the songs in there about just in general sadness and wanting to do better and coming back from a bad place and stuff. And all of these different themes, it's all
Like
kind of
skin deep as well.
Yeah.
Is it like got a bit of a self acceptance theme to it
Yeah.
as well?
Yeah.
so different themes. They're all through the eyes of Wendy. Basically.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I like the whole album, but there were 4 tracks that kind of stood out for me. Cut Your Teeth, I really like. That's
Good.
a great opening track. I mean, it's got everything. It's really punchy and it works really well. Down to the Bone, I liked as well.
There's a music video coming for that soon.
That I'm looking forward to. Skin Deep, I did like that. That was I kind of, I don't know. I kind of felt I kind of related to that a bit. I kind of got what you were you trying to say. I think in that, and the other one that stood out for me was, and it kind of stood out because it was so unlike the others in a way. Was It's in My Blood, which is the last track, because it kind of like, although it builds up and it has got a lot of power to it and that sort of thing, it's much lighter and much more of a ballad than any of the others.
Yeah.
And it really stood out, and it was really, I really like that. Is there I mean, it seemed unusual for you to do something that was that kind of
Soft.
almost soft, if you think.
We've both been brought up on folk music.
Yeah,
haven't
like
we?
we love folk music. We love all sorts of genres. And again, Ugly Club was about us creating stuff that we just like. And
Yeah.
you know, I wouldn't be surprised if you see us putting out a country rock song over the next year. We literally with
You
Ugly
will have to
Club,
get a Southern American accent for that.
it's one of those where we want to write whatever we want to write, and creativity doesn't always come in one little genre if you're inspired
Yeah.
by so many genres. And for us to only create rock music would be, feel like I'm stuck on the word authenticity now. it would be inauthentic for us to entirely work within the rock genre, because that's not just what we are inspired by or what we listen to. So that's a track that, you know, it naturally came together in that way with those chords, in that it built in the way it did. And when we were all sat there listening to it going, right, how do we make this, what do we change about this? We were kind of all just like, it doesn't need making heavier. It doesn't need,
No.
because it doesn't follow the verse, chorus, bridge, chorus structure either. It's kind of just one crescendo and then it's done, isn't it? So it's like, we're just like, what's the point? We
I
like
almost
it as
didn't
it
put
is.
drums on it, didn't I?
Yeah.
Like I was like, it's really weird because as the drummer, you'd think I'd normally be like, oh, I want to put drums on everything. But I was like, don't let me ruin this track. Like, you guys need to just do it. And you talked me into it, didn't you? And then it just felt like when we sat back and listened to the first mix, we were like, yeah, no, it's just it needed all of us.
It's interesting. I find it interesting because it's like there used to be this thing when I know I'm old and it's a long time ago, but when I was doing stuff with bands and that sort of thing, there was always this thing of like, if you had a song that was softer and built up like that does, you would put that in the middle of a set or in the middle of an album to kind of break things up a bit. And you would start and end on something really punchy and heavy but I really like having that being the last track.
It felt like a resolve to us.
Yeah. It really feels like it works and it fits being in that position as being the last track on that sort of out of that collection. It really works there.
I think I can't remember if this was intentional or not. You'll have to tell me. But when the start of this year was quite dark for us too, wasn't it? You know, we went through a lot in our personal lives, and so did the rest of the band. every one of the band members has suffered over the past 12 months in just horrific ways.
There's
And
been a lot of loss in all of our families, hasn't there?
there has.
It's been really strange.
Yeah. And we got to a point where when we were writing It's in My Blood, before we wrote this mixtape, me and Imogen kind of had a proper conversation where we sat down and we were like, instead of doing the studio stuff, should we almost started looking for the jobs, didn't we? And
We're kind of like, oh, do we need to grow up?
Yeah, do we need to grow up? Do we need to get real jobs? Do we all this kind of stuff that I think when you've just been hammered by like relentlessly by bad news, it's just it gets to you. And then kind of both of our sets of parents kind of talked some sense into us, didn't they? And like we got back on the proverbial bandwagon. And then when we wrote It's in My Blood, for me it felt like a really kind of like it's like no, music is in my blood. It's part of me and I should be doing it. And that was one of the reasons that I really wanted it at the bottom of the album, was because I was listening to it top to tail.
Yeah.
Right at the end, you just get this final reminder that no matter how hard I try and shake it, I'm never going to get rid of it. So there's no point in succumbing to what I think what I should be doing in society, because that's what everybody else does. I need to do what I need to do for my own soul and my own mental health. And it gave us the energy to push forward, and that's why we're building a new studio now, innit?
Yeah, no, I get that completely, and I think the whole collection works really well. I find it interesting you keep referring to it as a mixtape rather than an album, because it kind of takes you back to my kind of when I was a teenager. That was kind of what you did. You made a tape, and it was kind of how you showed your feelings towards other people, because you would make a mixtape and give it to someone as a present.
Us to you. It's a collection of songs that we love. From us to you. That's what a mixtape is, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I really like that you call it that rather than call it an album. I think it's a really good phrase to use. Really good.
Doctor, please pick up, it's serious this time. The nurse, she said it's in my head, I know it's not my mind. My heart is gonna burst, I'm sure this is physical. You're telling me I made it up, but it feels real to me. You're saying it's a symptom of anxiety. You're scaring me, I'm scaring me. The feeling is real for me, believe me. What's wrong with me? Someone tell me. Someone tell me what's wrong with me. I went to go see Wendy, she said my brain's wide wrong. There's something not quite right with you, we'll give you something strong. Lap it up and take it in, then jog on your way. Honestly, we'll fix your head, we can't do it today. When you gonna fix me? Why am I not a priority? I'll do what all my friends do and fix me up myself with the lines and the wine. I don't care about my health. Off I go without a plan. I lost my former frontman. I think he's my biggest fan. He passes me another can. Jaeger makes good meister, but I'm sipping my own love. High class and me, so come back to mine and try all over.
Okay, so you've been doing gigs. You said you did some gigs with Marissa and the Moths.
Yeah.
And you've been doing some other gigs of your own and that sort of thing. So the question is, where do we go from here? What's next? I know obviously you want to finish the studio and get that done and dusted, but musically, where do you go from here? And with the band, what do you hope to do?
So without giving loads and loads and loads away.
We've got to keep some secrets.
Yeah, we're finishing the studio. That'll be up and running in January. From January onwards, we will be straight in recording, because we've got lots of stuff planned for next year in terms of releases, re-records and re-releases of some older tracks.
Cool.
So there's a lot
of potential juicy collabs as well.
Yeah, potential collabs with other artists as well. So we don't want to spill all the beans until stopped the record button on the Zoom. Tell you off cam. But
Okay.
yeah, but we've got lots coming up, and we've got some fun things to announce and stuff as well. So yeah, the socials
And
will be a good place for that.
I think one of the things that made us feel so bad at the start of this year was feeling like we didn't have anywhere to be a band. So getting the studio back and having that space that we can work from and be creative,
Mm.
I think we're all really looking forward to, aren't we? So I think naturally there's going to be a lot of new inspiration from January because we're just going to be excited. We're going to be like, kids in a sweet shop, aren't we?
Yeah.
Really,
It's going to be amazing.
Well, I must admit, I mean, for everything you've done so far, I've liked. That's not just with Ugly Club; it was the other stuff before. But I really like the stuff you're doing now. I think it's sounding really great. You're all sounding great, and looking great on the videos. I wish you all the best with everything, and I hope it all goes well, and you don't have any other issues come up. I look forward to hearing more and new music from you. I look forward. Unfortunately, you play in London, but I'm not able to be there because I've got to work because it's where I work in my day job. It's our busiest time. It's not November, December because of the fact that we do community work. So it's difficult to get away.
It's
But
all
I'm sure you'll be back again.
yeah,
We will.
we will.
All right. Well, I'll give you, as I say, I wish you all the best, and I will put, as I always do, links to social media and to your music and everything else. And all I can say is good luck, and I hope to hear from you again soon.
Oh,
Thank you very
awesome.
much.
Thank you very,
Yeah,
very much.
likewise.
It's great having you on again.
Oh,
Thanks for
thank
having
you.
us.
Cool.
Right. Okay, so check out Ugly Cub. As I say, I will put the links up, and look out for information in the social media and everything about upcoming gigs and upcoming music. And I will see you again soon. Bye.
Yeah.